From a force, the Malawi Police Service has over the years rebranded to a service, and to an inclusive one that now have persons with albinism. It's a complete turnaround. The recruitment opens the door for others to join the service to protect people with albinism. For a long time, persons with albinism in the country have been experiencing deep-seated discrimination. As a result, most of them have failed to access quality education or health care. This unethical treatment has for ages been fueled by superstition and mere beliefs. Until recently, persons with albinism have lived in the shadows of society, their existence barely being recognized. That was before someone came up with the crazy idea that their bones could turn one into an overnight millionaire. Across the Eastern and Southern Africa region, persons with albinism became a target for ruthless individuals who could kill, rob graves, or just to lay their hands on body parts of a person with albinism. Those behind the attacks have ranged from close relations, community members, to influential religious leaders. This has made those living with albinism to fear for their lives and to trust no one. Overwhelmed with reports of killings and abductions of people with albinism, the police has mounted a spirited campaign for protection of those affected by the evil practice. With some of the perpetrators arrested, charged and convicted, sanity has retained in the communities. It is against this background that Hamid Vasco, a 24-year-old man with albinism, has broken history by becoming the first person with albinism to join the Malawi Police Service. A few years back, this was unthinkable. Born in a family of 5, Vasco studied business administration, and his career path was into administration. However, after some deep thoughts, he decided to join the Malawi Police Service.
Time that I were seeing my friends suffering, dismayed, whatsoever, facing all of the problems. So I was sit down that how can I assist them? How can I help them? So I was thinking day and night that if maybe I can be one of the police officers that I can enforce the laws that in other circumstances that assisting them in terms of taking their cases to the court or whatsoever, arrest the suspects.
It is undisputable that police training is not for the heart-fainted. One has to be physical and psychologically prepared. While at Kanjeza Police Training School, Vasco admits the experiences were hard, but he had to endure.
And to say the fact, the training of being a police officer is a training of being a soldier. So we are passing through different treatments, we are passing through different tactical field, whatever the as a soldier, being a soldier, passing through, we are passing it. So it was very tough, but I managed to do everything. So because I put my whole heart on that, put the trust, I was just put the sacrifice on it that I could manage, and I would manage it. But it was very tough.
Considering that Vasco's genetic condition prevents his body from making enough melanin to protect the skin from the sun, the million-dollar question is, how Vasco managed to endure the training?
As long as I know whom I am, I will manage to do the needful. Mostly I were using the lotions that help us from the sun, and I will try to wear the long clothes so that I should not face direct to the sun. So much more I know myself that if I expose much to the sun without using the lotions, I can damage my skin. So I try to use the lotions and to wear the long sleeves clothes.
As a human being who has ambitions and that he managed to achieve what he wanted as a young man, Vasco believes there is more he can achieve, as he has always dreamed of more.
In my life, I always dream higher. I just know that I'm not sure that I'll end up on the position of constable. I try my level best to be in a certain rank, and I see the glory of God that it's not far from it. I'm sure maybe you can be also this year that I'll be on the maybe inspector or above. So as long as there is Jehovah in heaven, everything is possible.
Vasco has a message to fellow persons with albinism, especially those that feel like they are being underrated.
There are a lot of fellow friends that I think that they can't manage, or they think affiliated, they think different issues, but I just want to encourage them that everything is possible. They should just need to put their hearts on what they are doing. They should feel themselves that they are great. They should just feel themselves that they can manage it. There's nothing that is impossible with everybody. As long as it's created in the image of God, everything is possible.
How does he feel now that he's a police officer?
As constable, there are a lot of things called the duties of constable. So as much as I've been trained how to handle those things, I'm seeing that I'm sure that there's no any problem being a constable, and I managed everything that constable assigned to work. So there are a lot of duties that I can work as a constable. So I managed to work, and I assure all the people that everything that constable is supposed to work, I'm ready to work it.
Speaking of police training, Lilongwe Police Relations Officer Hastings Chigalu affirmed that it is physical and intense. The fact that Vasco managed the training, Chigalu believes this speaks volumes of Vasco's character.
As police, we can clap hands for ourselves that we've broken barriers. Because for one to be a police officer, for one to complete police training, it takes a lot. We go through a lot. For your information, the 6 months, the 9 months, one is at the training institution. It's almost equivalent to the 4 years one spends at college or university. Because for a day to pass, it's like a week. But you see this boy with albinism, against all odds, he managed to complete whatever is done there at the police training institution.
Chigalu also speaks highly of Vasco as a disciplined police officer. He believes that Vasco has adapted easily as a police officer because he does not isolate himself.
In terms of adaptability, we cannot regret having him here, because as you have seen for yourself, the boy is very energetic and very disciplined, and the better thing from him, he's able to interact, he's able to mingle with his colleagues, because here at Lilongwe Police, we as police officers, we take him as our fellow police officer, not a person with albinism.
Police Inspector General Melin Yolam was happy that the law enforcement agency has broken the barriers in the society by recruiting all based on merit and not one's color of skin.
Malawi Police Service is on the inclusive agenda. What we want to do is every Malawian has a right to be employed wherever he feels he can get employment. So as a law enforcing agent who is also mandated to interact with the general public, you know, we always do community policing where we engage the community to be part and parcel of security in their organization, and we would want to leave a legacy where we should also include people with albinism, because they are Malawians and therefore they have the right to be employed in the service.
Disabled Women in Africa Executive Director Ruth Nkutumula could not hide her excitement to the news that Vasco has broken the barriers and joined the Malawi Police Service, a career that was seen beyond people with albinism.
This is one of the exciting news that we could receive, and also as we advance issues of welfare of people with disabilities, already to have people with albinism who in the first place they were denied those kind of rights, it is really a step forward, and it is recommendable. We really appreciate the government for really taking that law.
Vasco's case is a game changer in a society full of stereotypes against persons living with albinism. It is a living proof that where there is will, there is always a way to achieving one's dreams.